asks soldiers about Trump trans ban, get 5 answers they hate. Much to the consternation of LGBT advocates and the liberal media, President Donald Trump did away with the rather progressive rule regarding transgenderism imposed on the military by former President Barack Obama, and Trump did it, of course, via Twitter. In the Twitter post, Trump announced that, henceforth, transgender individuals would no longer be permitted to serve in the U.S. military in any capacity, which of course sparked massive outrage among his ideological opponents. But the Independent Journal Review figured that, since this ban on transgender people in the military will pretty much only affect the military, maybe we should see what actual members of the military think about it instead of asking political advocates and talking heads in the liberal media. It was an eye-opening move. Only 2 things matter, survivability and lethality, stated Army Sergeant Darian Browning, who served in the 82nd Airborne. Anything other than that is a distraction. We have budget problems, also, already. The stated purpose of the Army is to fight and win the nation's land wars, added Browning. Any decisions or budget fixes should be centered around that and that alone. The military is a machine that doesn't break down for politics, said Marine Sergeant Sean Connor, Iraq veteran and MARSOC raider. I can assure you that the reasoning for this decision is for the benefit of the whole system. Considering less than 1% identify as transgender in the military, it would be a major burden, and the cost-benefit analysis would be in the favor of not allowing this policy to go through, Connor continued. The amount of change, cost and redirection would not outweigh the very small pros, if any. The military had it right before with don't ask don't tell, or else things get complicated real quick, he added. The rules were there before Trump came around and for good reason. I empathize if they want to serve, but just do it without having to announce your sexual orientation, it's pretty simple. Connor also noted that service members undergoing hormone therapy or sex change operations are not permitted to work full duty or be deployed, sometimes up to 2 years, essentially rendering them a waste of time, training, resources and taxpayer money. Marine Staff Sergeant Josh Goring, a veteran of both Afghanistan and Iraq and a former drill instructor, seemed to agree with that last bit pointed out by Connor about transitioning troops being removed from the routine all others must endure. We need to be focused on how to improve our warfighting ability, period, he said. If transgendered individuals are being taken out for these procedures and treatments, they are not being trained properly, he continued. Before we go to war, we train for over a year on ranges and with regimen after regimen. So then we take these individuals out of training to get their surgery. But what good are they if we are over in a war zone and they aren't able to contribute to the fight because they're going through therapy or recovering from said surgery? He added that the military is not a social experiment. Its objective is to fight wars. That's where its sole focus should be. I believe that the infantry and combat arms should stay male. Male, being born with male genitalia, stated wounded Iraq veteran and Army Sergeant J. Strobino. In the military, your roles, positions and tasks are very clear and outlined. And I have nothing against transgendered people or homosexuals, but it'll start confusing those roles. It's not the ability so much of the individual, because yes there are plenty of females that can outlift me, outrun me and so on, explained Strobino. But it's a lower average as a whole, just due to body limitations. And you can't have 2 sets of standards for the same group. It just won't work. Strobino asserted that lowering standards to accommodate those with lesser abilities would be worse than having 2 sets of standards. If you're under the standard then you either train and improve, or you're not in combat arms, he said. There's no middle ground. However, while most of those questioned by the Independent Journal Review supported the policy change in principle, there was at least one who disagreed with it and another who generally supported the idea, but questioned the manner in which it was rolled out. I don't like that he just ran with it. He should have had a policy ready to go and Mattis should have rolled it out, stated Army sniper Gregory Diakojanis, an Iraq war veteran. The military is here to destroy the enemy. It's not a social experiment. We shouldn't be using the military as a petri dish to push progressive ideas, he continued. They are a killing machine. People are denied service for all kinds of reasons. Why should we treat people with gender dysphoria differently? Diogenes maintained that such individuals are in need of help and the military is not the place for them to receive such help, nor would it help the military, and noted that treating people differently or having differing sets of standards would be detrimental to overall morale. You will other them because they will become a protected class. In combat everyone is equal, it doesn't matter if you are black, white, gay, straight, man, or woman, he explained. But if you let other people live by a different standard you crush morale. Also, we are talking about 0.1% of the population not being able to serve. Finally, the lone voice of disagreement found by IJR was Afghanistan veteran and Army Ranger Zach Oya, who stated, "I'm curious to see how this will be implemented. Will the openly transgendered individuals currently serving be forced out of the military? Will they be forced to identify with what their birth certificate says for gender? This, in my opinion, is going to do nothing markedly positive but will open the floodgate to the left for open dissent against this new policy," he added. Oya suggested that more time should have been given for further study of the costs, benefits of transgender service members openly serving in the military, in order to gain a better overall understanding of the matter. I will say that I have heard nothing but good things from dear friends that have served with openly transgender soldiers, added Oya. The media most likely want nothing more than a division's worth of soldiers vehemently castigating the president and calling this latest policy shift nothing short of horrible, but that is not what they are going to find, at least not with this batch of troops. To be sure, there will be a handful like Oya who may disagree with the premise, or others, like Diogenes who disliked the manner in which it was introduced, but by and large, most members of the military are sure to be at least quietly supportive of the change. They know that the military is not the realm for progressive social engineering and tinkering, but instead is supposed to be a finely tuned killing machine that wastes no time or energy on anything else. Please share this on Facebook and Twitter so everyone can see what these troops had to say about Trump's transgender military service ban. What do you think of what these soldiers and Marines had to say about the transgender ban? Scroll down to comment below.